This episode of Film Riot is brought to you by FreshBooks Online Invoicing and Thunderbolt by HTC, the only phone that can harness the power of 4G LTE. Today on Film Riot, I answer your questions that you pose to me on the internets. Welcome to Film Riot, so it takes some mystery out of the effects and techniques of going to some of your favorite Hollywood films. I'm your host, Ryan Conley, who has also been kicked out of his office by Brian Brushwood.
I don't know, but all I know is I jumped out of my seat when he gets all looking for the ring. That was messing me up.
Who is now doing a live show on the internets, and he's more important than I am. So he's in my office, and I'm in my kitchen. Can I have coffee? I'm answering your questions online again because I thought this would be a lot more fun than just leaving you with little or no episodes, since we're about to go to Spain and don't have time to crack out a full mother lover. But we will be doing a really cool one after that, so. Brian. Our first question is going to be on Facebook from Courtney Michelle. What do you do when you're trying to write a script and can't come up with anything? One, don't have Brian Brushwood in your house. Typically when I'm trying to come up with an idea and I'm hitting a brick wall, I'll either A, just write anyway and see what I come up with that typically helps me break through my wall, or B, I'll go take a hot shower. And now you have that image in your head. You're welcome. Yeah. Shut up and die. For some reason, the relaxation of the hot shower, nothing distracting me, and just being in my full Adam state helps me think clearly. Next question, again from Facebook, is from Michael Mulan. Mulan. It was actually a pretty good Disney movie. It was alright. And his question is, have you been able to get your hands on a 60D? And if so, what are your impressions of it compared to the DSLRs you currently use or have used? Yes, we have one now. It's JT's, and it's pretty much like the T2i, except with a swivel screen. That's all I care to say about that. Another question from Facebook comes from Abby Perry. Abby Perry. And she says, we know Ryan wants to be a director, but what do the other Film Riot family guys want to be? Who cares? It's all about me. Next question is from Brandon Rose, and he says, how do you make sugar glass? Well, you take some glass, and you take some sugar, and you put the sugar on the glass. Sugar glass. Next question is from Andres Jimnama. Will you answer this question? No, I will not. Next question, John Unick. Could that be right? Now jumping to the next question, which is over on Twitter from Lee Dawn. Would you rather be filming Film Riot or one of your short films? I like doing both. Film Riot's great is because we get to interact with you guys and show you guys how to do stuff, which when I was younger before film school, I didn't have anything like this. It didn't exist. There wasn't even YouTube. I feel like I'm making myself sound like I'm 40. When I'm not. I'm a strapping young bronco. That's what my wife calls me.
You're still old.
You're old and docile.
Happy birthday.
Oh, happy birthday, buddy.
Thanks, man.
Now they know when we shot this. Jordan Martin wants to know, Milky Way or Three Musketeers? Snickers. That's a stupid question, Jordan. Augie Mendoza asks, best SD cards for DSLR shooting. For SD cards, I usually use SanDisk. You're gonna wanna get something that's 20 megabytes or higher, otherwise you're gonna have recording issues. Moving on. Quinn George asks, what advice do you have for an aspiring editor? Practice. One of the best things that you could do as an aspiring filmmaker of any kind is look at movies that you really like the technique behind it and try to replicate it exactly. Go out and shoot a scene of two people talking and edit it exactly how they did in that scene. Try to match it the best you can with the audio when you hear the one actor's dialogue versus the other, and then dissect why they edited it the way that they edited it, why they were looking at the certain thing they were looking at when they were looking at it. By doing this, you're really going to start to get a great understanding of that craft. Your mother. Chris Smith wants to know, are you awesome? Does that answer your question? Patrick Delahanty on Twitter asks, is it hard to get film work where you are? I've always been told to move where the jobs are. That all depends on what you want to do in the industry. I never wanted to work for somebody else. I only wanted to create my stuff and entertain people. But like I said, it all depends on what you want to do. I didn't want my style or creativity squashed by other people who just want to get ahead and make money. It kind of made it all dirty for me. Made me like a filmmaking prostitute, and I didn't like that. So I went out on my own, took a chance, started Film Riot, and been doing my own short films and this stuff ever since. So Just depends on you. On Twitter, Kent Brandt says, how many tries does it take to get a new effect right? And don't say one because you cannot be that much of a demigod. Typically, one. There has been times that we F up, like the pool of blood around JT's head. I gave you guys that tip about the small hose because that's what we originally did. We got a hose that was way too small and it just didn't spill out quick enough. We had to go out and buy a new hose and try it again. But typically we do it in just one go. The effect with my mom for the Dead Space ad was a brand new effect for us, like most are. You guys ask an effect and it's typically something we never tried before, which is fun for us, but also a little scary because we only have 1 week to get a new episode done. So if we mess up, it can be a bad situation. But we have done that in the past. When we did that car green screening episode, we messed up the exposure so bad that it wasn't usable and we had to own up to it. So we mess up sometimes, but for the rest of it, we're gods.
Amazing.
We're gods of filmmaking. That's not even remotely true. Our next question is, Rob, battery's dying. Should I plug this in? I'll plug it in later. Next question is on Facebook, and it's Derek asking, why don't you answer Facebook questions? I'm not really sure how to answer that question. Kevin Allen Bridge says, how do you, it died. The Thunderbolt is the only device powerful enough to take on the power of Verizon 4G LTE. The Thunderbolt is mobile hotspot enabled, which means you can use it to access Wi-Fi anywhere for up to 5 Wi-Fi enabled devices. Coming soon to Thunderbolt, one-touch video calling to any one of millions of Skype users. No Wi-Fi needed. Logo. And we're back. Kevin Allen Bridge says, how did you make the transition from film student to filmmaker? Well, I'm not 100% sure that I've actually made the full transition to filmmaker. I've never made a feature film, so I don't know if I can truly call myself a filmmaker yet. I've done a few short films, but so far I personally think I'm still making that journey. The cool part is you guys are making that journey with me. And as I learn more, you guys are gonna learn more through me, which I think is a really, really cool thing, which was the whole idea about Film Riot. As we learn and grow and try new things, we're gonna do it for you too. We're gonna learn the hard way, so you don't have to. Anyway, let's all just hug on the internet. Chris, who asks, where's the best place to find props like guns, grenades, weapons, etc.? The best place to find... Brian! What are you doing?
My show's over.
Well, mine's not. I'm in the middle of shooting.
You got any Oreos? Found the Oreos.
Hey, is that the ice cream man? I think I hear the ice cream man.
Take the Oreos. I'm gonna go get ice cream.
Get the ice cream man. How old is this? It's unreal. The best place to find props like that is on Google. Just Google.
You're a liar. There's no ice cream man.
The best place to find props like guns and pretty much anything else is Google. Google is the best resource you could possibly have. Just Google what you're looking for, like for instance us, the rocket launcher, and you're gonna find a ton of places that will send you a real rocket launcher within the matter of 5 days, which is a little bit scary.
You smell good.
Thank you. Rickler and K asks, hey GI bro, can you recommend some good color correction color schemes, like what colors? It's really hard to decipher. But really the only thing I do every single time is add a little bit of green or blue to the shadows. It gives it a little bit more of a filmic look. And I push the mids to the warm tone and the highlights to kind of more of a cooler tone. That way you get the pure highlights getting more of the white and all the mid tones staying a nice skin tone so they don't look icky, pale, gross.
Why do they always give like temperatures for tones? Like tones is music.
It's like different things. Just eat your food, buddy. DG on Twitter. He says, thoughts about Leonardo DiCaprio. I love him.
You know what? That guy picks good movies.
He does.
Except for The Beach. The Beach was terrible.
It was not terrible. Next question. So, did your doctor prescribe Ritalin or adrenaline for your ADD? Or is that Adderall? I didn't really pay attention.
Are those donuts?
Sorry, go ahead. You were saying.
Stop handing him food. It's just
No,
making
just
it
try,
worse. Next question. When is Film Riot going to 3 to the D? 3 to the D. Oh, do 3D.
Never.
Maybe sometime. I mean, I agree, but it would be fun to do on YouTube. Next question comes from Sebastian, and he says, can you please tell me what you think of my video? I learned the effect from you. Okay, let's look at it. The most dangerous game. It's 2 minutes long. Got some effects going on there. Sitting at a table.
It's funny. Suicide.
With a Nerf gun. It's pretty good. Cannon Hunt on Twitter asks, are there any special effects or settings you can change to get the 24 frames per second cinema look with 30 frames per second in film? Yeah, if you shoot 30 frames per second, you can always convert that to 24 frames per second in post. It doesn't look quite the same, but it looks pretty freaking close. It's pretty easy to do that. Just Google converting 24 frames per second, or 30 frames per second to 24 frames per second, and you're gonna find a ton of tutorials on that.
Did you just tell him just go Google it?
I did. That's my answer to the question.
I mean, that could be your answer to all the questions. Here, watch.
So?
Here, let me ask. You pick one, any of them.
That one.
Hey, man, I'm bored. Can you say ciao Danilo, come stay? Italian, man, Italian. That's the serious stuff. Google that.
Next question is from Emma, and it says, what would you tell amateur scriptwriters when they feel let down about their project when they're not inspired enough? I'm not sure I fully understand that question.
If I may.
Yeah.
She's looking for inspiration. It's important that she understand that failure is an integral part of success. The creator of Kentucky Fried Chicken went to over 1,000 stores trying to sell his fried chicken before he landed the deal that became Kentucky Fried Chicken and making him one of the greatest successes in all of history. She should have a set of written goals and make it her job to get her script as good as possible and in front of as many people as possible. Failure is an integral part of success because you cannot make it to the top without stumbling.
That was actually a really good answer. And a new question that just came in on Twitter is from Brian Brushwood. Really? You tweeted me a question.
Read it, bro.
And Brian asks, seriously, are there any more Oreos? Those were awesome. I don't know, Brian. Look in the pantry. Next question is from Alex, and he asks, do you have any advice for someone to try to get a show on Revision 3? Trying to get a show on Revision...
Don't have any Oreos.
Trying to get a show on Revision 3 or anything like it starts with you having a product to show for yourself. No one's gonna give you a show if they don't know who you are and they don't know what your work's like. So the first step is making whatever it is you want to try to sell as a show. Make a few pilots of that so you can show them what you wanna do. Then have a game plan of what you're gonna do 3 months out from that point so you can show that you have a lot of ideas to sustain the show. And then post it on YouTube. Try to get a following of your own. That's what we did. We had a show before Film Riot called Making the Film, where we were hitting about 5,000 to 6,000 views per episode just on our own, just for putting it up on YouTube and for people passing it around. After that, it was pretty easy to get something else going. So get something together and put it out there. Same thing goes for trying to get yourself a sponsor. Nobody's gonna sponsor you unless you already have an audience. Otherwise, who are they sponsoring to?
I have a show on Revision 3.
I know, but I don't know why.
No one cares.
I know, right? Next question is again from Brian Brushwood.
Just read it, bro.
Let's find out what it says. Also, when are you gonna be done with this so we can play Call of Duty Black Ops?
That's a great question.
It's actually a good question. Screw it now.
Yeah! Let the humiliation commence!
FreshBooks is an easy-to-use online invoicing service that saves you time, gets you paid faster, and makes you look professional. Also, you might actually enjoy invoicing. It's an amazingly easy-to-use invoicing service that is completely free to sign up. So go to freshbooks.com and start your free account today. And here's the really cool thing they're doing for our Film Riot viewers. Every person that signs up from our show has a chance to win a birthday cake once every day, randomly selected. And how could you be randomly selected to be sent a birthday cake through the mail? Go to freshbooks.com and sign up for a new account. Then enter Film Riot in the How Did You Hear About Us section. And you might end up getting some birthday cake when it's not even your birthday. And we're done. Special thanks to Brian Brushwood for showing up and ruining our episode. If you want to see his stuff, check out revision3.com/scam school. You can also follow me on Twitter at twitter.com/Ryan_Conley if you want to be involved the next time we do something like this. Also, check out our Facebook page because we posted it there for you guys to ask questions as well. And our YouTube page for more fun, testicle times. But I'll see you next week when I realize there is no spoon.
Playing the Farm Bill?
Huh?
Playing the Farm Bill?
Not really. I get too addicted.
Kids
David-
all playing the Farm Bill.
Yeah. David on Facebook asks...
They grow the crops?
Yeah, the crops. I get it.
But you gotta do it at certain times. If you wanna get there. There was one
good.
chick, she didn't harvest her tulips or something. I don't play it, so I don't know how. You go ahead.
David on Facebook asks,
It was
can those of
onions.
us...
It was onions.
Yeah?
I don't know, do they even have onions in the game?
I don't know.
That's the last episode. It was 2 episodes ago.
2 episodes ago.
Don't you ever cross him in front of me again.
Kind of like having Brian here. Yeah, shut your mouth, Josh.
Yes, sir.
You feed him and he's like uber loyal.